Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. I was going to do this today. Well, earlier today, this was going to be my first video, but unfortunately, another terrorist attack happened, so I had to do that first before doing this. You know how that happens? It's just some things just become more important than others? Well, this is another case of that. Well, what we have here is the insanity and ruthlessly stupidity of Jimmy Kimmel. Because he decides to not wanting to forgive or apologize for his comeback on Trump and many other things, because he's a leftist psychopath. And this is only going to increase the temperature. This is only going to make things worse. And again, Democrats are keep on the ones saying bring down the temperature, yet they're the ones always keeping it up. So I don't know what else to tell you. So without further ado, we have this here from the Daily Mail saying, Jimmy Kimmel weeps. He never intended to make light of Charlie Kirk's death, but doesn't apologize and starts his comeback show by putting the boot into Trump. Jimmy Kimmel fought back tears as he tried to explain his statement on Charlie Kirk in his first show back on ABC since he was suspended over his comments about the late TPUSA founder. It was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man, he said. While fighting back tears, I don't think there's anything but funny about it. He referenced his post to Instagram sending love to Kirk's family, and he said he still does. Kimmel then tried to explain what he said about Kirk, but did not directly apologize. He thanked his fellow talk show hosts, fans, and even conservatives who defended him. Kimmel welcomed first guest back, Glenn Powell, who said he was honored and glad he was the host was back, and singer McLaughlin. At the end of the show, he joked, I think we'll be back tomorrow night. See you then. However, Sinclair and Nexus stations, which make up about a third of ABC's affiliates, will not be showing the program. So even though he's back on air, he's not on the full air that he wished to be. So luckily, his vile rhetoric didn't really get spewed to a whole bunch of people. Kimmel, 57, was booted off the air last week over his comments about Charlie Kirk's assassination. The host has said that the MAGA gang was attempting to portray the suspect in Kirk's killing as anything other than one of them. Yeah, because that's the reason why. And this is something that has been going on here. And he says he apologized for Charlie Kirk joke, but I don't think he does. Now, while this loads and while we wait,
I've been hearing a lot about what I need to say and do tonight. And the truth is, I don't think what I have to say is going to make much of a difference. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind. But I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human. And that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual.
But you did, Jimmy Kimmel. You did, because you blamed it was a MAGA person, which automatically goes out to saying you blaming a specific group. So you're already lying here. You're already saying it was a MAGA person doing it when we have ample evidence that it definitely was not. He's being disingenuous here. And we have this here. Kimmel once again refuses to acknowledge the motivating ideology stating the assassination represents no group. That's always the lie they use.
I don't think what I have to say is going to make much of any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make. But I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever. And also selfishly,
Yeah. So again, this is not really him. Is not is refusing to acknowledge the actual state of the assassination. Now he does say that he didn't want this to happen or what have you. So I guess that is fine there, right? But again, at the end of the day, is that we do know it was from a leftist. That's just plain and simple. And I'll be the first one to know. Uh, what is it? Uh, we do know that like if it was of any individual, and I would say if it was a actual MAGA person, I would 100% say it was a MAGA person. Like I have no issues with that. I think my only issue right now that I have done so far is that I haven't covered the Christy Nome thing where she wanted a silent speech, which I've been wanting to do, but there's just guys, there's just so much news coming out that is important and in the box. It's hard for me to get to everything in a day, and I have other things that I have to do in life, so it's hard to get to all of this. So again, this is just the insanity of it all. It says Kimmel ends first show back with with one last joke referencing controversy. Jimmy Kimmel is finished off his first show, returning to the airways with a last reference to the controversy that embroiled him this week. After thanking his guests, Kimmel cracked, "I think we'll be back tomorrow night. See you then." Sarah McLachlan performed a song on Kimmel's stage, but did not speak, nor did she reference her protest in solidarity with Kimmel this past weekend. Goes on to say here that Glenn Powell says he's honored to be with Kimmel on Comeback. Kimmel criticizes Trump as being unable to take a joke, and this is what he has to say here.
The President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke. He was somehow able to squeeze Colbert out of CBS. Then he turned his sights on me, and now he's openly rooting for NBC to fire Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers and the hundreds of Americans who work for their shows who don't make millions of dollars.
Probably because we do not want to live in a society to where we glorify death. That's the reason. I mean, can you not understand this? And you actively saying incorrect and wrong things to millions of people is a huge problem. Like, if it's different to me because I'm essentially a nobody in this world, right? I am a nobody. Nobody knows me. So me saying something doesn't have as much as an impact compared to what you saying something. And I'm not saying to say that like I should be excused from saying horrible things. I'm saying me saying something doesn't have a big of impact as you do. When you say something to millions of people, that has a tremendous impact. And that can influence or misguide people for the wrong things that you have said. So again, it is a huge problem. And yes, you should be fired. And yes, these people that are being ghoulish and terrible should be fired. I don't care for their sovereignty. I don't care on what happens to them when it comes to their jobs. Because again, these people don't care what happens to me. They don't care what happens to my family. They don't care what happens to my friends. So why should I care what happens to them? Like, it is this simple. I don't see unto where you get confused by this. They will laugh if any of my friends get murdered because they don't quickly align with their ideology here. That's just plain and simple. I do not want my friends living in fear. I don't want my family living in fear because of what they say. And it's not being able to take a joke. It's a fact that you people are vile and disgusting and you keep on doing this, right? And they're going back to poke fun at the FCC. A-list actor and Trump nemesis Robert D. De Niro joined Kimmel to take a job at FCC Chairman Brendan Carr. "It's just me," with the chairman of the FCC gently suggesting that you should shut the F up. The longtime mafia movie star made several references to mob violence and suggested Kimmel's free speech might cost him his limbs. Again, the FCC had nothing to do with this. It was just Sinclair and Nexstar really just saying, no, we don't want to support this. Further proving that, like, they don't want them on the airways because they don't want him being on the air. So yeah, Jimmy Kimmel cites Erica Kirk's forgiveness of Shooter was a part of the teachings of Jesus, and this is what he has to say about that.
A moment over the weekend, a very beautiful moment. I don't know if you saw this on Sunday. Erica Kirk forgave the man who shot her husband. She forgave him. That is an example we should follow. If you believe in the teachings of Jesus as I do, there it was. That's it. A selfless act of grace, forgiveness from a grieving widow. It touched me deeply.
Again, more of this crying. I hate crying. I hate men who cry who are beta males. It is very disturbing. The only time that is appropriate for men to cry, in my opinion, is if, like, you know, if your wife was assassinated or your kid was assassinated, murdered, died, etc. In these extreme situations, yes, I think a man has every right to cry because these are horrible and grieving times for anybody to be dealt with. It's a fatal blow. And a lot of times in strife and toughness, men had to be tough. They had to be resilient in order to survive those tough times. And a little bit of weeping is not going to make you terrible just because of some horrible tragedy or your father passing away or etc. These are times to where toughness is okay. But when we come down to with this other stuff here, no. It's just not okay. Like, if one of my friends passed away, I would be completely demolished. It's like, these are times to where grieving is allowed, but this is just stupid. Kimmel calls FCC Chairman Brendan Carr un-American for targeting him, which that's not what the FCC chair did. Kimmel thanks Republicans who supported his right to free speech. Jimmy Kimmel thanks fellow late night talk show hosts. So yeah. That's what we have here with Jimmy Kimmel, all right? So he had some good things to say, but mostly it was negative, and if anything, it was just dialing up the temperature. That's pretty much it. You cannot be dialing up the temperature like this. It's stupid, and things need to be dealt with. We'll have more information coming up soon here, so we'll see what happens. Right now, I will be doing more productive things and covering Jimmy Kimmel and his stupidity. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, share. As always, take care, my friends.